If you take this man on, it won't be without cost.
Hello guys, Kakashi, Feanor here again. Sorry, I just got too much into the bit. This is just because I've named this Chidori Charge, as you've seen from the title. This is a solo 1-bar build that is a jack of all trades. It does use the Oakensoul ring, so if anyone is an absolute hater of Oakensoul and refuses to even look at something that uses Oakensoul and thinks it's the bane of all of ESO's existence, then go ahead and, pass on it. That's fine. Try to keep the hate at a minimum in the comments for each other. You can say whatever you want. I'm not peddling this as like the best of anything ever. I'm not saying it's the top DPS. It is definitely not. That's not the point of this build. This build is made to be extremely accessible, very easy, and get through most content in the game. And I mean like soloing a majority of dungeons, a majority of bosses, if not every boss in the open world, dragons, even veteran dungeon content you can solo somewhat, but you can at least tank it or DPS it, and there shouldn't be any problems. The only times you get kind of a problem is in veteran trials, but you can do normal trials with this build. You just are going to have a difficult time around elitist people and people who want to dictate how you play, but there's no reason you can't use this build. If you just ignore the like huge hate that's been peddled to make it sound like Oakensoul ring builds just can't do anything anymore, then you're going to do perfectly fine, and you're going to play the game and be happy and not have to do much. So if you want brain off, or you have something that holds you back from using multi-bar or even a various amount of spells, you can literally get by using 2 buttons most times with this. That'd be left click and your first spell. Sometimes you want to heal, so if you really want to get nitpicky, you're going to have to use 3 buttons. But that is leaps and bounds better than a lot of other builds that are for accessibility and making the game simple. Don't let people tell you how you can or can't play the game. Ignore them. Absolutely ignore them. If they tell you that they have a better build with less buttons, then hear them out. And same with me. Like if they genuinely have easier builds, I'm all ears. And if it looks fun and it's something that I want to try out or run, or maybe put my mom onto, then I'll check it out. But I do not like the hate that goes around and people trying to dictate what each other do. Learn to be better. That's almost, I'm not like, I try to be nice and play both sides and stuff when I can, but there's no both sides on that. Some of you guys just need to learn to let people have fun and do things the way you want to. Not everything has to be, preachy and like, you do this because I do this. Just come on. We don't all have to be the perfect meta, So anyway, very good build, very accessible build, not number 1. Do not misconstrue what I'm saying, and I hope you guys enjoy. There's the beginning of this video breaks everything down for you in like everything that you'd need to just get in and play with it, okay? So you see the long video length, it is not that long. I have timestamps and stuff for you to jump around in case you want to see me using the build in certain settings. That's why it's so long. But beyond this yap that I'm doing right now, this preface Kakashi cosplayed yap, it's mostly just gonna be telling you the spells, different variations of spells, and the gear setup. And I'll start with what I use first, and then give you options in case you want to just skip through everything. Okay? All right, great. So you'll no longer be seeing Kakashi, and you will be seeing my in-game character and spell sheets and damage sheets and stuff. Okay? Okay, and on the spell bar for my primary setup, and this is what you'll see me running in all of my PvP tests, or at least most of them, and just running for any content in the game. It may not be the best suited for every specific thing, like clearing out certain difficult bosses and whatnot, but I can make it work for just about anything, so I leave it this way most of the time, at least while running this and testing this out. So that would be Toppling Charge, Boundless Storm, Healing Burst, Recuperative Treatise, and Critical Surge. Obviously, Power Overload as the ultimate, but this is the setup. And all of these spell bar differences are going to come with extremely similar, if not the same, things for like champion points. So I'm going to pop up there and show you that real quick. Don't even have one locked in right this moment. It's not super important. The green and red are probably going to be extremely universal. Even the blue is going to be similar. But I have reduced time it takes to harvest, of course. Movement speed. That's huge. That's like actually combat related. And map movement speed, especially if you're doing things like open world PvP and Cyrodiil and whatnot. Exploiter in the blue tree, weapons expert, deadly aim, and master at arms. This is the most ideal setup, in my opinion, for DPS. I've done a lot of testing and throwing points around and doing different trees and whatnot, and this is what I've come down to every single time for most situations, especially if you're tanking, because you're not going to be like getting any kind of flanking damage and stuff. You're going to have to be head on all of the time. So this is what I go for. And then siphoning spells, Serenity, Fortified, and Boundless Vitality. That is the red tree. So that is the champion points. When I pop into here to Destruction Staff, and just point out that I have all of the passives. If some people are going to struggle at times with points, you know, it is what it is. You're going to have to pick and choose which ones that you want to prioritize. Some are more important than others, but there's way too much stuff here to go through and try to delegate like how many points you might have and how many you don't. So it'll be a case-by-case basis, but this is what I would recommend. It's just like filling out your Destruction Staff, getting all the class passives for the class trees that you unlock, which includes Herald the Tome here, Storm Calling, and Atrix Spear. Alright, in the armor tree, we have all of the passives in light armor, all of them in medium except for the sneak, because I'm not really doing that right now with the setup, and I have my own thief build, so I just don't put the points in there. I can just switch over in the armory. And heavy armor, all of them. Not a priority, but we'll just stop by Soul Magic here, just to say that it is potentially a little extra damage when your health gets low. It is very minor, but it is something. So if you have extra points floating around, don't forget this guy. Okay, in Fighter's Guild, we have Barb Trap, which is an option for some of these swap outs, but I've just felt it not to be the priority in most situations. Right here is a reason why if you needed more weapon and spell damage, or you just preferred to have that up higher for whatever reason, if you're not following this build exactly, then you could put Barb Trap down there and get a 3% bonus. Of course, you always want Banish the Wicked for ultimate generation, especially because this build is fantastic when you have your ultimate. And Skill Tracker if you are going to run Barb Trap, because it will increase the damage of Barb Trap. Barb Trap can be good. It's just another thing to manage, and really the numbers come out very similar at the end of the day with this build. An option for some of you folk who don't want to manage Critical Surge, you want even less buttons to engage with, you can throw Inner Light down there, and it'll give you a Magicka boost. You'll have quite a bit more Magicka, and then you also get more Magicka by getting Magicka Controller here in the passive tree. So it's a good way to kind of match the damage, but then you're not getting the utility of healing yourself every second while damaging people. And I like to have this there, especially for PvP or a very hard boss fight. Also, Shocking Contingency is not what I would recommend to use in this build, but some people might want to play around with it, and you can kind of get similar numbers while using it, or you can try to have like a burst setup for a PvP situation. I just haven't had as much luck with it, but I do want to point out that it is an option. You can go with this. I'll let you look at the passives there for you. I did test it out a bit. Okay, and Undaunted, we're not locking in any of the spells. I used to use Inner Fire when I was tanking prior to subclassing from here, but that's no longer what I have to use since I have Toppling Charge. And obviously, this is a given. It's going to help anyone at any time whenever you're activating a synergy. But this guy right here is why we run our armor like we do. So this is the reason why I'm essentially always running at least one of each armor type. But the reason why I'm running two of each is actually under the medium armor. So the only reason I'm running 2 medium here is because of the passives, to get the extra movement speed and the critical damage and healing, and the extra spell damage. The stats are technically better in a lot of ways for just wearing another piece of light, but because I'm wanting to run this in PvP and getting some heavy burst and whatnot, it tends to have a better outcome in that direction to throw a little bit more medium on there. But it's odd. It actually ends up making you a little more squishy and like having less sustain. So it's something that you can toy around with and decide for yourself. But I would at least take at least 1 piece of medium so you can get these passives and then get that Undaunted passive at its maximum, because then it's worth it. It's worth it to at least run 1 medium, in my opinion. Of course, the racials are like all over the place. You can pick a different class or a different race for a variety of reasons. I just always have been a high elf. I think it works really well for casters. So of course I'm running my high elf and I have all the passives unlocked. And I do think that these are pretty high priority for the most part. So you're probably already gonna have these. You know that they're good. You know what you need. So do what you will with those. I'm going to preface this part by saying you cannot do this spell bar setup unless you are a sorcerer. This is for sorcerers only, and the other ones that I've shown are for multi-class. But in order to have Daedric Summoning and Stormcalling, you'd have to be a sorcerer, because other classes can only pick 1 skill line from each class. Sorcerers can natively choose as many sorcerer skill lines as they want, of course. Alright, for the spell bar setup, if you specifically want the most sustain-heavy PvE tank portion of this build, then this is what your bar is going to want to look like. It'll be top lane charge, healing burst, Twilight Matriarch Restore, Hardened Ward, critical surge, and our staple, which is power overload. The thing is here, I mean, you see we have 2 different heal sources. I mean, obviously Pet can die and whatnot, but that's not actually why Healing Burst is there. Healing Burst is there because it's an AoE heal. It can heal a lot more than 2 people. It also gives you and any party members around a hot of 8,000. At least with the setup I have, it's giving 8,000. So you get your instant heal with that and your pet, but then you also have a hot that you can kind of keep up and really power through some intense fights, and even trying to keep up other allies. Now, if you don't want this, because it's not necessary for so many different fights and you just want some more damage, what you can do is go into Daedric Summoning and pop this little guy down there. And actually, here, I'll take him off real quick. We're going to see all of this is going to stay the same. We'll run through that. But specifically in Stormcalling, down here, you have a current bonus of 432 with this setup. So if you have Healing Burst, it'd be the same if your weapon and spell damage. It counts the caster's spells from other trees as well. So once you pop that on, you'll have 540. You get extra spell damage. You also have another pet attacking. It just is obviously more damage, more DPS, if you want to throw some in there. And obviously I'm locking in every single passive. Some of these are from the other build. I just didn't need the points, so I just left them in there. So, or the other spell bar setup. But I'm locking these 2 in. All of the passives here too. And Adric Spear, obviously doing the top lane charge. Locking in all the passives. And you can pick and choose. This can depend on how many points that you have. But this, like, if all things are perfect and you have as many points as you want, this is what I would do for that setup. Let's say you want to be extremely tanky, be able to sustain and like heal other people and stuff. And you can do the swap that I already showed between the Volatile Familiar and the Healing Burst, but you just don't want to tank. You don't want to be the actual primary tank. Then we would just go back to your Destruction Staff spell and put Unstable Wall of Elements so that you can, you know, put the effect on the enemies and do some AoE damage without actually having the taunt. So that's the easy trade-off, and then you can use the build at a distance as well. You don't have to be right up in their face. So that's really the super easy change in this setup if you either do want to tank or don't want to tank. But let's say you're like running with a group where they didn't need another tank and you don't want to be competing with taunts, then there you go. Okay, we're going to talk about gear setup and options. So I'm going to go over what I'm currently using and what I would say is my preferred setup. So I have the Slime Craw mask, the medium version on, with Divines and Magicka enchant. You can have the other ones. I have them all. I've done so much testing. I've made everything legendary, and I'll kind of go through that. But yeah, I guess I should stay on task. So I have medium Slime Craw mask, Pauldrons of the Sergeant with Divines, of course, and Magicka. That's going to be the case for all of my pieces. Gloves of Order's Wrath. We'll just say Order's Wrath. Greaves of the Sergeant. Warplate of the Sergeant. Sash of Order's Wrath. Boots of Order's Wrath. Amulet of Order's Wrath. Ring of Order's Wrath. And the Oakensoul ring. For the weapon, I have a Lightning Staff of the Sergeant. On the Lightning Staff of the Sergeant, I have the Shock damage enchant, and then I have Nirnhorned. So this is the setup that I have chosen. This is my preferred way to run this build and where I've gotten the best numbers out of extensive testing and the best results in PvP. Some of the other options will work better in certain PvE scenarios sometimes, but I think this is best for like the jack of all trades, don't really want to mess around with stuff and just run it all the time type of setup. Over here, I do have light shoes from Order's Wrath in case I wanted to have those be interchanged, and for the extra light piece way to run it instead of having 2 medium. Always going to keep my 1 medium for sure. And then I have a Lightning Staff of the Sergeant with Precise and the Weapon Damage enchantment. And both of these weapons have really good results. Some have differing results for like longer fights or shorter fights, but as I've said again, the one that I'm currently running with Nirnhorned and shock damage is just the best in my opinion. Like overall, it's going to give you better results more times compared to the other one. I also tried Infernal. That doesn't work at all. I just stick with the Lightning Staff. You do not get the proper results because it doesn't have concussion and the interaction with shock and concussion. So yeah, it has to be a Lightning Staff. I have a heavy Slime Craw Visage and a light Slime Craw Visage. Also tried some changing out with those slots. Had to do farming to get all of those, of course. And I just ended up sticking with the medium anyway. Actually, no, I didn't stick with it. I started with the light one. And it worked really well, but I just preferred the medium. And then the other optional set, let's say for whatever reason you don't have enough to buy Order's Wrath and upgrade it to purple, and you just happen to have a deadly set laying around. The deadly set is pretty dang close, and there might be scenarios where it's better, but honestly, it seemed a little bit worse in every way, shockingly. Like, I actually expected it to do better, but it's not that much worse. And if you want to save some money, or for whatever reason you prefer this, or you do testing and find the opposite, then Deadly is at least a very similar outcome if you run this setup instead. So it's all of the same Order's Wrath pieces, just switched out for Deadly. And that's another option that you could have in your arsenal and to mess around with. For my Mundus Stone, I have the Lever, and I tested a lot with all of the other stones, and for this stat setup, because of how I have it, the Lever just seemed to do a lot better than others, or at least a little bit better than others. I got kind of close with Thieves, and I think Thieves was the only one that was kind of close, and the other ones were just kind of like all over the place, and we don't have enough crit chance percentage for the crit damage. So Lever is just a solid choice, especially if you're going to be doing PvP also. Then this is what I would recommend going with. And now I've been showing some various clips of different DPS runs I did on my target dummy with different spell setups. You can know that most of the gear stays the same. I'll try to indicate on the clips where that's not the case or whatever I think is necessary. But essentially you'll get a good rundown of like what you can expect, how average the damage is going to be, like from setup to setup, and kind of pick and choose how you like. And this is not the end all be all for this build either. This is already like culmination of knowledge from past builds and things in the past, from other players and other setups and whatnot. So there is going to be ways that you might find to tweak this that you like, and ways to make it work for yourself. And I've already thought of a couple other ways that I might want to work around with it, but honestly, I just need to get it out. I've had people ask me about it. I'm way behind because of life stuff that's been going on. So this is how I'm pushing it out to you guys. This has been working extremely well for my mom. This has also been working really well for me as I've been playing with it. I don't know if I'm going to shelve it after this, if I'm going to start working on another build, or if I'm just going to run it for a bit. I honestly can't decide, but time will tell on that. The fact of the matter is that this build is extremely proficient in doing things solo and carrying groups in normal content, doing really damn well in veteran content for an Oakensoul build. And ignore all the haters, ignore the toxic people. They cannot tell you what you can and can't do. This is an extremely easy way to be very proficient in the game. I don't give a shit what people say. It is not a dead ring. There are still very viable builds with it. Even if it's not the best, that's not what I'm selling around these parts. It doesn't need to be the best. I don't need the clickbait titles of like #1 DPS build. Like, that's not what I'm doing. It's not #1 DPS. It's not #1 healer. It's not #1 tank. It is a pretty damn good solo, like jack of all trades, carry your friends through shit type of build. Okay? That's what I'm giving you. And if you have a better one, then great. We don't have to compete. And you know, you can share it in the comments and whatnot, but you're not gonna like get me to shelve this one or not tell people about it, because I want people to have options, and I've enjoyed it and it's worked really well. If I see yours and I think it worked well too, then I'll maybe check it out. But there doesn't need to be this like super huge info war and acting like anyone who puts out anything but the very tippy top prime meta thing is evil. That's gotta go away, guys. That's a really toxic part of a lot of game communities, not just ESO, but ESO is clawing its way up there, you know? So do your part. Try to help me whenever you come across those, and try to be the beacon of light that I think this community needs, because it's fun just kind of doing things and putting things out there and giving people options. We don't always need to have the #1 thing being sold. And that's enough. I'm getting off my podium here. Enough preachiness. I just wanted to get that out. It's been bothering the hell out of me. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And stick around if you want to see all the examples of it working in the real world. Skip around, use the timestamps. It's going to be a long video, I know. So in no way do I think that you have to watch it all. Great if you do. I would love that for my numbers, to be honest. And I did put the time into making it, so if someone watches it, that's awesome. But they're just there in case you wanted to see them. Might be totally unnecessary. I just felt I needed to put it out there. All right. So hope you guys enjoy this and have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe.
does it feel, Olorima, to see your companion die? Shall be your last mistake. You shall be lost in my shadow. It's time for the world to be reunited. I'm a settled fall. My death means nothing.
We've defeated Zamaja, but at what cost?
All of you. My power. I can't feel it. It's gone. I don't know if I'll ever...
Sorc!